guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp. I will get to your super chats and comments very, 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 very shortly. I will get to those, I can assure you. And guys, I'm going to advise you that what you are about to see and hear in this case is extremely disturbing. If you are a defender of the so-called black community, you might want to watch another YouTube channel. You might not want to see this particular live stream. If you are squeamish, if you have children, if you can identify with being a parent, I'm just letting you guys know right now, and I'm not saying this to be overly theatric. Seriously, guys, viewer discretion is advised, because the details of what you are about to see and hear, I don't have any words. I really don't. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go ahead and take a look and listen. Here we go.
We are learning more about a Detroit mother charged with the killing of her 9-year-old son. Police say an arrest made months ago may have saved the life of a 3-year-old child. 41-year-old Brandy Pierce faces murder and child abuse charges in Detroit. She's accused of smothering her 9-year-old son Zamar and burying him in the backyard.
Oh my God.
New arrest warrants show police arrested Pierce in Brookhaven in December for child cruelty against her 3-year-old. Police say Pierce told them they were homeless and living out of a rental car at the time.
Wow.
11 Live's Angelina Salcido has more.
October 2024.
The cause of death found by the medical examiner was smothering and neck compression.
Oh my God.
Death.
It's alleged that she purchased a shovel. She bound him by tying his hands and feet together.
Jesus.
And dug a hole in the background of the house on Whittingham.
Good
where
God.
she had been living for a short time.
Detroit prosecutors say 41-year-old Brandy Pierce killed her 9-year-old son Zamar. His remains not found until January 6th this year, buried behind a garage at the rental home where she lived with him and 3-year-old Zor.
Insane.
Neighbors shocked to learn what happened there.
It's sad, though. It's really sad that that happened.
Sources say the landlord found the home empty 2 days before Thanksgiving. Pierce left to Georgia with her 3-year-old, but was arrested in Brookhaven at a Dollar General for cruelty to children. Officers found Zor in the front seat, naked. Documents show both front seats were pulled forward, a small deflated air mattress placed in the middle. Pierce was arrested again by Cobb County deputies on January 10th for possession of a controlled substance.
Of course she did.
Back in Detroit.
We are charging Brandy Catrice Pierce today with 1 count of murder in the first degree premeditation. Count 2 is homicide felony murder.
Angelina Salcido, 11 Alive News.
Right now, Pierce is in the Cobb County Jail on a $15,000 bond. Officials in Michigan.
And again, the $15,000 bond is for the charges she's facing in Cobb County.
Are moving forward with extradition efforts so she can face charges in connection to the 9-year-old's death.
Okay, so we're going to get a little bit more detail here. We're going to get a little bit more detail in this video. Take a look and listen.
Gut-wrenching details are coming out about the short life and brutal death of a little boy. Hello, I'm Brandon Hudson.
And I'm Jessica Dubnak. The boy told CBS workers his mom wanted to kill him. He would later be found in a shallow grave. Today, his mother was arraigned, and the details you are about to hear are very disturbing.
Pierce, where it's going to set a remand in this case.
41-year-old Brandy Pierce will stay in jail. Her bond denied in the atrocious murder of her son, 9-year-old Zamar King.
Good
Callousness
God.
with which the defendant treated Zamar cannot be understated.
Fox 2 broke this tragedy in January at this vacant home where contractors made the disturbing find.
In a very shallow grave behind the garage, what appeared to be
Unbelievable.
A foot, and part of a shin.
Danny Gonzalez says $15,000 bond. I've heard of a large bond for lower crime. No. The $15,000 bond is for her in possession of a controlled substance in Cobb County. Okay.
Sticking out of the ground.
Detroit police suspected early on it was a child. Their worst fears revealed in an autopsy that showed it was Zamar King, partially buried,
Look at this
partially
kid, man.
decomposed.
Oh
His
my
final
God.
moments laid out in court Friday.
We believe that the evidence will show that the defendant smothered and suffocated Zamar. and that the defendant heard his last gasping breath and decided to walk away.
Oh my God.
When the defendant came back to Mar, he was blue.
Oh my
Instead of helping
God.
him, she decided to bind his arms and legs, put him in a wagon, and take him out to the hole that she had in her backyard.
Unbelievable.
A hole Pierce allegedly dug weeks earlier before the murder after
She dug the hole weeks before the murder. The kid told the authorities, "My mom wants to kill me." Unbelievable, man.
wheelbarrow from Walmart. The day his body was found, neighbors told us this.
The only weird thing was the fact that they left in the middle of the night and nobody seen them.
Yeah.
Turns out Pierce fled to Illinois, Wisconsin, and ultimately Georgia with Zamar's 3-year-old brother. They were located living out of her car, the toddler naked, covered in feces.
Jesus. Oh my God. Naked and covered in feces.
Had been on the radar of Children's Protective Services
God, dude.
here at home since 2015, 4 times.
Since 2015. 4 times. It's 2025 now, y'all.
Issues related to her treatment of Zamar. Their last interaction with CPS just months before his death.
The defendant and
Unbelievable.
her 2 children went to a hospital for help. CPS got involved. Zamar told CPS that his mother chokes him and wants to kill him.
Oh my
The
God.
signs were all there. The safety net was not.
Jesus.
Zamar King was a 9-year-old child who was treated like he was a piece of garbage.
Brandy Pierce's attorney said in court she suffers from several mental health issues.
Oh,
and has
BS. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. I ain't trying to hear nothing. I ain't trying to hear nothing about mental health. I ain't trying to hear nothing about mental health. Ozabel Reyes says they better not blame this on her mental illness. That appears to be the route that her attorneys are taking. I'm going to give you guys even more detail. So what we are going to do is we are going to watch what I believe is the arraignment of Brandy Pierce, and they are going to give us even more details. Here we go.
Court is calling case number 25055.
Insane.
674.
There she is in the upper left-hand corner.
01. The people of the state of Michigan.
My God.
Versus Brandy Catrice Pierce. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Tina Ripley on behalf of the people, P83688.
And good morning, Ride Murad, P83665. On behalf of Ms. Brandy Pierce, we waive the formal reading. Ms. Pierce stands mute. She's been advised of her rights.
Who's the dude in the middle? Like, who are all of these other people?
Okay, good morning to you both.
Like, who's the dude in the upper right-hand corner who appears to be incarcerated? Who's the dude in the middle who appears to be incarcerated?
Both. The court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Ms. Pierce. Ms. Ripley, your bond recommendation.
Yes, Judge. People are asking for a remand in this case.
And a remand means no bond.
The facts in this case are nothing short of egregious.
This is insane.
Zamar King was a 9-year-old child who was treated like he was a piece of garbage. He deserved better, and we believe the evidence will show that.
And it's funny, black people talk all the time about how white people don't give a damn about black people. Yet, the woman that appears to be the most appalled by this is the white lady. The judge, and listen, I'm not trying to pass judgment on the judge, but the judge really is just kind of ice about this. She's not, I don't know.
Back in April of 2024, the defendant and her 2 children went to a hospital for help. CPS got involved. Zamar told CPS that his mother chokes him and wants to kill him.
Jesus Christ. She told them that his mother chokes him and wants to kill him. Where, just like she said in the other video, they said in the other video, where's the safety net for this kid? Where, like, what happened?
According to October of 2024, the defendant and her 2 children are living in Detroit on Woodingham. The defendant orders a shovel and a wagon from Walmart. She digs a hole in her backyard behind her garage.
Oh yeah, you guys are probably right. These are probably other inmates awaiting their arraignment.
Later in October, I believe October 24th, Zamar wakes up early as would be usual for him. We believe that the evidence will show that the defendant smothered and suffocated Zamar.
Jesus.
And that the defendant heard his last gasping breath and decided to walk away. That when the defendant came back to Zamar, he was blue. And instead of helping
The kid was blue. Oh my God.
him, she decided to bind his arms and legs,
Jesus.
put him in a wagon, and take him out to the hole that she had in her backyard and bury him. The callousness with which the defendant treated Zamar.
It's funny. Look at the other 2 inmates. They don't look. They look not one bit surprised. They look not one bit surprised.
cannot be understated. The defendant is an absolute danger to the community and a flight risk. After the killing, the defendant took herself and her other son to Illinois, Wisconsin, and then down to Georgia, where they had been residing. The defendant was subsequently arrested 2 times in Georgia for crimes involving her other son and drugs. We had her back on this warrant. So people believe it's appropriate.
Somebody needs to mute themselves in the background.
Okay, thank you. Your response, Mr. Murad?
Judge, so on behalf of Ms. Pierce, I can tell you that she's 46 years old. She's not employed at this time, Your Honor.
46 years old and not employed. That does not help her case.
She has absolutely no income. She does suffer from disorders that I'm not aware if she's received her medication for.
Here we go. Now it's the medication. And guys, I do apologize. I do apologize for the on behalf of the Wayne County Zoom call. I do apologize for the background noise. One would think that they would mute everyone who isn't talking. It sounds like the dudes that are here and here. It sounds like there's some background noise.
I can tell you that in talking to her, we understand that she's received a master's degree as well.
Oh, she has a master's degree. What the hell does that have to do with anything?
Ultimately, Your Honor, I think we lost Ms. Ripley, so there we go. So ultimately, Your Honor, when it comes to bond, I think it's important to know that it's easy to, read off a police report and read the most egregious allegations and then confine somebody to jail. What I'm asking the court to do here is to use the least restrictive means possible.
The least restrictive means possible, guys, and I apologize. I wish there was some way I could do closed captions here.
And confine her to a homeless shelter.
Confine her to a homeless shelter? Are you kidding me? She just killed her kid.
But ultimately, any concerns that the prosecutor or the court would have would be addressed with the home confinement GPS tether to a homeless shelter.
Hell no. No, sir. Oh, hell no. Hell no. They want this woman confined to house arrest when she doesn't have a home. They want her in a homeless shelter. Nah.
She is homeless, Your Honor.
Nah, keep her ass in jail.
I don't think it's appropriate for me to even argue the facts in this case at this stage. But when it comes to ties to the community or flight.
Yeah, you want to know something? This is actually her. This is actually the noise is coming from her. For some reason, it's not unmuted because you can tell that when there is noise, you can see her box light up.
Risk. I hear what the prosecutor's saying that she wasn't.
Look, see?
Do
you see how it keeps lighting up?
Tether addresses that. So my ultimate request, Your Honor, is to release her on a reasonable bond, confining her to a homeless shelter.
Get out of here with this.
Okay. Thank you. After listening to the arguments of the parties.
Yeah, this is absolutely her doing. I don't know why they can't mute her.
The court has had an opportunity to
see. Do you see how it keeps going back and forth?
The investigator's report and take into consideration the background information that has been presented by defense counsel.
This is crazy.
The court certainly is concerned. Not only is Ms. Pierce a danger to the community, but also a flight risk. After these egregious acts or allegations, she left the state, was in Illinois, Wisconsin, and then found in Georgia. So a flight risk, that's pretty much clear. As it relates to being a danger, as Ms. Ripley indicated, the facts are just egregious.
Egregious, exactly.
In terms of how this child was found, the condition, being tied.
I can't believe they're not muting her background noise. Like, what the hell?
Body having been decomposed. The prior information that was submitted in terms of the contact with Child Protective Services, and based upon
oh my God, dude! Somebody tell those bitches in the background to shut the fuck up already.
That information, she definitely poses a threat to the community.
Hell yeah, she does.
So the court believes that based upon the information.
Does nobody else hear? Like, does nobody else there hear all that background noise?
Finds through clear and convincing evidence that she is a danger, Also, that based upon the information that has been set forth in the investigator's report, it appears that the presumption of guilt.
Yeah, Crimson Eclipse says the background noise is so unprofessional. Yeah, listen, par for the course, Wayne County, Detroit.
Is high, and the court is going to remand this matter pursuant to MRE 6.106B1I. So,
okay, it looks like they finally muted it.
Ms. Pierce, where it's going to set a remand in this case.
Oh, I guess not.
Is there anything else?
Judge.
And a remand means there's no bond.
From the people?
No, Judge. Just looking for
That
dates.
is related to bond. I'm going to give the court dates in a moment. Anything
Okay.
else
I
from
don't
you,
have
Mr.
anything
Moreau?
further at this time, Judge.
Okay.
Yeah, look, see, even her attorney, which is, and I can guarantee you, her attorney is probably a court-appointed attorney.
Okay.
So you knew he wasn't going to fight this.
Thank you. Then we have 2 dates, Ms. Pierce. You have a probable cause conference that's scheduled for March the 7th at 8:30. That will be by Zoom.
Oh, that's today.
You also have the right to a preliminary
Oh, that's already happened.
examination, which is scheduled for March the 13th at 1:45 p.m. Now that matter will be conducted in person. Both of those matters are scheduled before Judge Jakay in the 36th District Court.
She looks like she has no
So if
remorse.
there's nothing further, then this concludes this matter.
Yep, and that of course is that. So, oh my God, guys, there have been a few statements that I have been making for months since starting the Hard R podcast. And no, this is not a Hard R podcast. It could certainly count as one, but no. And by the way, there will be another Hard R podcast later this afternoon, so stay tuned. But I've been making this particular statement for months. And I am always, guys, I'm telling you, I'm always getting pushback. I'm always getting pushback from persons of the so-called black community. Okay? Always getting pushback from these guys. The first statement that I've consistently made is that black women, gentlemen, black women are the only group of people in the world who regularly and willingly put their children in danger. Let me repeat that. Black women are the only group of people in the world who regularly and willingly put their children in danger. And we're not talking about putting them in risky situations. Black women have been putting their children in risky situations for ages. But because we haven't had the technology to actually see it, we haven't been as privy to it. But black women regularly, willingly, and won't only put their own children at risk. They're the only group of people who consistently put their children in imminent physical danger. We see example after example of black mothers throwing caution to the wind at the expense of their children. We saw that black mother in that police video try to run over the woman who was holding her child with a U-Haul truck. She took that U-Haul truck, sped right towards the woman who was holding her child and tried to hit her. We saw another black woman in a police video who had a choice between going to jail or taking her son with her, and she chose freaking jail. My own mother wanted me to confront a grown-ass man because he allegedly cheated on her. She always used to tell me, stay out of grown folks' business, but then turns around and tells me that as an 18-year-old beanpole, I'm supposed to run up on this 6'4", 240-pound man to defend her honor. The second statement I've been making is that the biggest threat to black males, regardless of age, is the black woman. Let me repeat that for you again. The biggest threat to black males, regardless of age, in this country is the American black woman. And again, we see this in police videos. How many times have we seen a black woman get physical with cops? Right? She'll spit on them, she'll swing on them, she'll assault them, and then put out the bat signal. She'll put out the bat signal for the black men around to intervene on her behalf. How many times have we seen that? We've seen it, guys. She's wrestling with cops. She's screaming, somebody help me. Somebody help me. These women are all the time talking about how white cops shoot and kill unarmed black men on the regular, but then when they get themselves in trouble, they have no issue with recruiting black men to jump in and literally fight the cops. We've all seen how they escalate when they know they're about to be arrested. They scream, don't touch me. Leave me alone. Isn't somebody going to help me? Guys, this is not an accident. They do this on purpose, knowing full well that if these men do jump in, bad things are going to happen. Like getting tased, getting arrested, and possibly even being shot. They don't care. They don't care. The third statement that I have routinely made is that black mothers, they think they own their children. They think they own their children. They do. They think of their children as accessories that they can do whatever they want with and discard them at their discretion when they're no longer useful to them. And guys, I've given you guys countless examples of my own mother. My own mother. My own mother did what only a mother would do if she thought she owned her children. When me and my brothers and sisters were all teenagers and we all had W-2 paying jobs, you know what my mom used to do? My mom used to tax us 30%. She would require us to pay her 30% of our gross income. That's right, guys. That's 30% before taxes were taken out. Then when I had the audacity to not pay her 30%, she kicked me out of the house at 19 years old. Years later, she tried price gouging me by quadrupling my rent. And guys, all this is on my channel. You guys can go back and see it. She tried to quadruple my rent, told me that if I didn't like it, then I can leave. I left. Then she came to my job and demanded that I pay her $3,000 after she figured out I bounced. She said to me, but I'm your mother, which leads me to the next statement that I have consistently made. Not only do black mothers think they own their children, they think their children owe them. In the mind of a black mother, her children are indebted to her for simply giving birth to them. And I'll tell you this. Anytime a mother has to use the mom card, she knows she's a bad mom. Anytime your mom has to say, but I'm your mother, I got to use the mom card, bad mom. Give you an example. It's along the same lines as a woman in a relationship who has to manipulate her significant other in order to get something she wants, right? She knows she's not really doing what's necessary. She knows she's not trying her best. She's not doing what's necessary to hold it down in your girl. So when she wants or needs something, what does she do? She starts exhibiting favorable behavior out of the blue. She cooks his favorite meal. She dresses sexy for him. She gives him the cheeks every day, right? Every day, all that week, she gives him the cheeks every day, so on and so forth. Then after she gets the things she wants, she goes right back to being the kind of woman who has to manipulate him to get what she wants or needs. Whereas if a woman knows she's a good woman to her man, she knows that all she has to do is simply ask for what she wants or needs. She knows that she is a good woman to her man, so she doesn't feel the need to change her behavior or manipulate him. She simply needs to ask for what she wants or needs because he knows that she deserves what she asks for because she's good to him all the time. I recently saw a Christmas commercial. You guys might remember this, featuring the Watt brothers, right? And for those of you guys who aren't sports fans, the Watt brothers are future Hall of Fame edge rushers J.J. Watt, his younger brother T.J. Watt, who's also future Hall of Famer at the same position. It was T.J., J.J., and their younger brother Derek. Right. You guys should Google it. It's the Watt brothers Christmas, the Christmas Dick's Sporting Goods commercial. What struck me about that Dick's Sporting Goods Christmas commercial was right at the end when the mother rolls up and says, "Get in the car, boys." All three of these super jacked, super athletic, grown-ass men who have all played in the NFL, two of which are Hall of Famers, immediately turned around and jumped in the car without hesitation. Now, one might ask, well, what's a Christmas commercial with football players at a sporting goods store got to do with black mothers thinking they own their children? Simple, and stay with me here. Just like the woman in the example that I just gave that only needs to ask for what she wants because she knows she's a good woman to her man, the mother of the Watt brothers knows that she simply needs to tell her boys to get in the car and they will do what she says because she was a good mom. I can guarantee you that Mrs. Watt, she didn't treat JJ, TJ, or Derek like she owned them. She didn't regularly put them at risk or in imminent physical danger. Mrs. Watt protected her sons from outside threats rather than being the biggest threat to her sons, like black mothers normally are. So when she rolled up in that station wagon in the parking lot, she knew that all she had to do was say, get in the car. And all three of her boys would indeed get in the car. Gentlemen, this is how men treat their mothers when they're good moms. Mothers who nurture their sons, keep them out of trouble, keep them out of danger, they get that kind of treatment from their sons later on in life. Another example of this is Donna Kelsey, mother of future Hall of Famers Jason and Travis Kelsey. She was a good mom to them, and now she is reaping the benefits. But then you take a look at the typical black athlete who buys his mother a house. Why? Because she's in his ear about how she gave birth to him. So he owes her a house when he's drafted. We see and hear this all the time. When Pick-a-Nigga athlete gets drafted, the first person in that dude's ear is his mom talking about, now I gave birth to you, so now you got to take care of me. You owe me. We've all heard that famous black mother saying, I brought you into this world and I can take you out. Why else, and ask yourselves this, why else do you think so many black men today have mixed feelings and complicated relationships with their mothers later on in life? Well, now we've got black mothers who are committing unspeakable crimes against their children, their young children. The Atlanta mother who literally cooked her children in an oven and videotaped it and sent it to the baby daddy. The woman who is using her children as a human shield to get her to keep her from getting arrested. Like I said before, attempting to run over a woman holding her child, consequences be damned. And now we've got Brandy Pierce, who smothered her son to death while also allegedly choking him, buries him in a shallow grave, and moves all the way down to Georgia. Also, as you guys heard in one of the other videos, was neglecting and abusing the three-year-old son. Found him in the front of the car, covered in poop. What the hell do you have your 3-year-old kid in a car by himself, butt-ass naked, covered in poop while you're at the store? Guys, at some point, we are going to have to acknowledge that American black mothers are the worst moms on the planet. I'll say it again. At some point, we are going to have to acknowledge that American black mothers are the worst moms on the planet. Straight up, no exaggeration, no qualification. They are literally the worst parents on the planet, and at this point, I don't think it's particularly close. And you niggas in the chat who want to defend these evil people are always quick to point out, well, white people do it too. Have you heard of Susan Smith? White mothers do this too. And to that I say, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Black people from the so-called black community always use this tired ass excuse when one of their own does something as egregious as this. They love to point to other races of people and their transgressions to deflect and, dare I say, even justify their actions. White people ain't got nothing to do with the fact that black mothers are the worst moms in the history of the world. And until black people stop pointing the finger at other races and what they do, rather than just owning the fact that these people are the scourge of the earth, it's never going to get better. It's never going to get better. So here's my advice. If you're a black man in America and you want children, I would strongly and urgently urge you not to have children with an American black woman. Because as soon as she pisses that plus sign, your offspring is already in danger. She's smoking weed and she's drinking during the pregnancy. Then after she has the baby, she neglects the baby. Then when the kid starts to walk and talk, that's when the brainwashing starts to make them think that they're the property of their mother. Then they start putting the kid in physical danger. Then it escalates to abuse. And eventually it ends being buried in a shallow grave while she flees to another state to evade the law. There are way too many cases of black mothers harming their children to justify even thinking about wanting to start a family with one of these people. Black men, do yourselves a favor. If you don't want to get a video of your baby mama cooking your kids in the oven, or hearing that she smothered and buried your kid in a shallow grave, or any number of unthinkable, unspeakable crimes they routinely commit against your children, do not procreate with these people. Straight up. All right. Excellent. All right, I'm going to read your chats and super chats here in a minute. But first, let me quickly remind you that if you guys want to access my longer form content, be sure to join my Patreon. It is less than 17 cents a day. And with Patreon, you get access to SharpStream, which contains over 110,000 hours of exclusive content not found anywhere. You get access to all of my dating show breakdowns. We're on season number 51 to be exact. Temptation Island actually starts next week. You get access to all of my movie breakdowns. You get access to all the podcast versions of my live streams and so much more. Also, gentlemen, make sure you follow me on rumble.com/Donovan Sharp. This is where I now do my dating show breakdowns and other streams that are not safe for YouTube. Lastly, guys, make sure you like the video. Make sure you like the video. It is the most important metric that YouTube uses to push me up in the algorithm. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you think this content, if you like this content, you think this content is helpful. And finally, guys, share these videos with anyone who pees standing up. Copy the link and just text it to them. You don't have to preface it with anything. You don't have to say check it. Send them the video. Just send them the video, okay? What you guys have to understand is this is one of a few male-centric channels that is still monetized. And by sharing these videos, you help support this channel, and it will not cost you a dime. If you could do those things for me, like, subscribe, and share, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. All right, let's get to your super chats here. DJ BFit with the $5 super chat says, I say send this woman to the upper room. She has mental illness. Oh, well, send her to God and let him deal with it. Yeah, dude, I do not buy this mental illness nonsense. Listen, man, black mothers are evil, straight up. I am not about to blame. I am not about to blame some fake mental illness to justify these egregious crimes. Insanity. Dr. B84 with the $10 super chat says, oh no, she was struggling. Says, oh no, she was struggling with mental health. Yeah, fuck out of here with that. Absolutely. Insane. Black Samurai with the $5 super chat says, I want to say RIP to that young man. He should have had a loving home. May God be with him. Dude, this kid was telling people, my mom is choking me and she says she wants to kill me. Why did nobody step in and help this kid? Why did nobody step in and help this kid? It's just unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Luke Perry says send her to the men's prison. Yeah, exactly. New Britain Paula says, wow, your stream for once popped up on my recommend for you. Yes, we are starting to. I think one of the keys for me being up in the algorithm right now, at least for the time being, is that these are shorter podcasts. Number one. Number two, I'm on a little earlier. I thought that, being on late night along with everybody else would help. That didn't help. That did not help. So we'll see what happens. Doctor Who Design says, I'm sure more Pauls will appear. There's always a Paul. Yeah, that idiot. Yeah. Says as long as it isn't Paul. Yeah. And listen, guys, look, if you disagree, pull up. The link is pinned in the chat. JDM8021 on the Rumble side says pure evil. Metallic 47 says my mother gave me up for weed, so I agree with you. Guys, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, dude, Black, I swear to God. Of course she gave you up for weed. Of course she did. Insanity. Diabolical Man says, this is disturbing. You're damn right it is. Kevin Edwards says she looks evil. Yep. Absolutely. Pro Special says, what in the world? Man, dude. Dude, it's insane. It's insane, man. Kyle 2020 says, what you say all the time, the biggest threat to black babies are black mothers. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Dude, I'm telling you. Black boys in particular are not safe with black women. They're just not. They are not safe with black women. It appears that someone has pulled up. Let me go ahead and... Okay, all right, Jamie Herring. Before I bring you on, I'm going to read you a few rules before you come up. Just so that we're clear here. Number one, you have to disagree with me, Jamie, okay? I'm not going to bring you on if you agree. This is not an echo chamber, okay? Number two, you got to be on camera. I can see that you are on camera. And the reason why I require you to be on camera is because people behind avatars, they act very differently when no one can see them. They've always got a cocky disposition because they're hidden behind, the shroud of anonymity. I don't do anonymity here. It's easy to be bold and opinionated behind an avatar. That's why cowards do it. So congratulations to you for pulling up and being on camera. At least you were on camera. Number three, and this goes for number three, don't talk while I'm talking, okay? I will acknowledge that it is natural for people to cut across one another during a discussion, which is perfectly normal. But if your strategy is to talk over, through, and around me, it hurts the quality of the discussion if we're both talking or if we're both cutting into each other or cutting each other off too often. Number four, if you're respectful to me, I'll be respectful to you, okay? It is perfectly normal for people to have a respectful, spirited disagreement and remain civil. And number five, last but certainly not least, this is not a debate, okay? It's a discussion. I want to make clear, a debate is a competition, which means that there is a perceived winner and loser. And when people are in competitive debates, Jamie, they want to be right rather than getting it right. And when that happens, people lie to win the argument. Okay? Debating is a skill that you can hone to win debates, but discussing what you really think isn't. When people debate, they're inauthentic. When they discuss, they tend to be a little bit more authentic. So I want you to tell me and the audience what you really think, not what you think will make you look like the winner. So we will not have a debate. We will indeed have a discussion. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring you up here. Let me go ahead and switch everything. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Jamie here. I'm going to add you to the stage, and there we go. Let me go full screen with it. Give me a second. All right, Jamie. Okay, Jamie. So you have the floor. I will not interrupt your opening soliloquy. Please lay it on me.
Yes. How you doing, Mr. Shannon Sharp? How you doing, Donovan Sharp?
Doing good, man. Shannon Sharp.
My bad. I got your name wrong. I apologize.
It's all right, man.
You said something, though, right? The reason why black women, they always point the finger that white women do it too. Well, I have a reason for that. The reason why black women do that is because it's taking the self-accountability off of them, and then they have a hatred and a jealousy towards white women. And so that's the best way to put it. And it's sad, though, because we treat black women in America like they could do no wrong, like they're just these innocent group of women. They can do no wrong. They don't commit crime. They don't terrorize their children. They don't harm black men. And black men don't have the bravery and the courage to stand up to them. I remember I watched your show. You had the legendary Tommy Sotomayor on your program.
Yep.
And he said something that resonates with me. Black women, not all of them, but a lot of them, they are the worst stewards of children. And then you got these black women, they disrespect black men. They think they're better than black men, which they're not. Black women have an average net worth of $5. They are not the most educated women. It's Asian women and white women. This is a fact. They are more likely to get evicted from their homes than any other race of women, and they are the most violent women amongst women. Hispanic women, Asian women, white women are not as violent as black women are. And I'm going to say this, though, man. A lot of people don't say this, though. They have all this smoke for white women. They talk, they disrespect white women. They think that white women are trying to be like them when they're not. Most white women are perfectly fine being who they are. They're not trying to be like black women. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just because they wear braids in their head and stuff like they might talk and dress like black women here and there, they're not trying to be like black women. When you guys, they wear weave in their hair. I don't know why they do that stuff, but like they wear hair on their head that's not theirs. And I just had to put that out there.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, and you don't have to, tell me anything proprietary. What was your experience as a son? Obviously, you're black on black. I had a good experience with my mother until really she blew up the family. And then our relationship has been very, very terse since then. What was your upbringing like? Because you're obviously a well-spoken black man. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders. Was your mother the exception to the rule? Like, and again, you don't have to get personal here, but what was it like growing up with a black mother?
My mother, she was a good mother.
Okay, good.
My mother was, we didn't have the best relationship. She was very, I don't know, it's just, she was very abusive, I'll tell you that much, physically.
Wow.
She beat me with a extension cord when I was a kid. She hit me in the eye.
Same here.
When I was a child, it swelled up my eye in Florida when I was a child.
Oh my
and
God.
Even to this day, I've never forgiven her for that. That don't mean I have a hatred for her, because I don't.
Sure.
But I've never gotten over that, and it was very traumatizing. And she, I don't know if she was going through her own traumas and stuff like that. I don't know what her upbringing was and stuff like that, but she was, she was a loving, caring mother, but she also had the other side to her that was unpleasant. I didn't like being around her. I didn't like sitting in the living room and watching TV with her, because even if I looked at her differently, she would just get to popping off at the mouth. She was very aggressive, contentious, and somewhat confrontational at times. It was very unpleasant. And, she didn't make my childhood, that well, but she did take care of me. She provided for me. She raised me to be the man I am and stuff like that.
Okay.
She's deceased. I do miss her and I do love her. I wish we did have a better relationship than what we had growing up. And that's all I can say about my mother and stuff like that. But I want to say this, though, Mr. Sharp, that I'm glad that there are more black men, following the footsteps of Tommy Sotomayor, holding black women accountable, because in America, black men are too coward to hold these women accountable. And in the black community, we have a thing called the matriarch. And I think that's wrong, because when you look at other races of men within their community, stuff like that, they are the dominant patriarchy of their communities. The white community, the Arabic, Chaldean community, the Hispanic community, the Asian community, and stuff like that. But in our community, the women are considered the leaders in the community. And I think that's bad, because that's bad for black boys, because if they're raised by single mothers, they're going to take on the irrational, the emotional, social behavior of the woman. And that's part of the reason why you have crime in the black community. Black boys, black men are 6% of the population, but they are responsible for most of the crimes in the community.
That's right.
And part of that is because they are raised by single mothers, because they're over emotional, they're motivated and driven by rage, anger, which is an emotion. They become very impulsive to commit crimes. And this is very, very dangerous. Even myself, I live in a black community. I find myself have to carry a weapon on me for my safety, my protection, my well-being, because when I get around white people, other races of people, I feel safe, I feel at peace. But only when I'm around other black men and some black women, I got to carry my weapon, I got to be on guard. I don't want nobody walking up on me, approaching me, and I have to be on edge.
Wow.
And even myself, though, I find myself when I get into it with black women, I have to cuss them out, be verbally disrespectful towards them.
Yeah.
Because they think they can talk to you or treat you any kind of way. There is truth that black women are very aggressive. They're very confrontational. They're very contentious. They behave in a way that's very, very masculine. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. And that's the truth. I see it all the time. I see it with my mother. I see it with other black women in the community, because at the end of the day, I'm still part of the black community. I live in the black community.
Sure, of course.
And I'm telling you, like, the behaviors that black women demonstrate in our society, it's not good. And really, other races of women don't like black women. They so quick to go after white women. They assault white women because they're bullies. Because they know white women don't fight back.
Right.
They do it to Asian women. They have this jealousy and envy towards white women, and I don't know why. Like, they think that white women are trying to be like them. The majority of white women in the United States and around the world, they don't want to be like you. If anything, you guys are trying to be like white women.
Absolutely.
By putting hair in your head that's not yours. They call it cultural appropriation. But why are you a dark-skinned or a brown-skinned black woman, or even light-skinned, and you wearing hair on your head, blonde wigs,
there you go,
blonde weave,
color contacts,
And then when they keeping their hair so long, you know what they be doing? They do this.
Oh, God almighty, Jesus
You know why they
Christ.
do it? Because it gets dirty, it starts to smell,
Ugh.
and it starts itching. How can you wash your hair wearing other people's hair?
It's unsanitary.
All that sewing, the glue, the crazy glue they put in to keep it attached and stuff like that. They doing this because it itches, because it's dirty. But if you wear your real natural hair, it's more easy for you to wash with shampoo and conditioner.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, it's just crazy, man. But more black men need to start standing up, though. They got to have the brave and courage to stand up that black women, they are out of order. And do I hate black women? No, I love black women. And there are a lot of great black women out here who have class, modesty, decency, who are virtuous women.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's not enough of them going around because most of these black women are hood rats, they're thoughts, they're ratchets. I call them low-class, ghetto, degenerate women.
Real talk.
And they're very, very problematic in the community, though.
Let me ask you this last question before I let you go here. What do you think should happen to Brandy Pierce? What do you think the sentence should be? Obviously, listen, we can sit here and say she's innocent until proven guilty. She's guilty. She killed her kid. She was abusive. What kind of sentence do you think that Brandy Pierce should get? Should it be life in prison without the possibility of parole? What do you think? What do you think the proper punishment for this egregious crime should be?
Death penalty.
Wow, death penalty. Okay.
I feel like they should pass a law that if you commit a crime against a child, you should get the death penalty.
Okay. All right. Okay. Especially when it comes to ending the life of a young black child. Jamie, I appreciate you coming on and giving your thoughts, man. Take care, and I appreciate you coming on, man.
No problem.
All right, Jamie Herring coming in. Listen, Jamie was in here dropping facts. He was dropping facts. He really, really was. Yeah, somebody said I like the I like this. I prefer the echo chamber over infighting. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll start to open up the video line, for people who agree. But again, Jamie is a random black man who happened to be watching the show, and surprise, surprise, his mother was abusive. He talked about the fact that his mother beat him with an extension cord. So did mine. My mom didn't hit me in the eye, but dude, she used to beat us with extension cords, switches, all that stuff. It's crazy. Dude, it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. And it's funny, over the years, these crimes are escalating. Man. A woman cooked her kids in the oven. Like, honestly, you have to be a special kind of evil to do that to your own progeny. Like, I cannot, dude, I couldn't do that. Dude, I couldn't do that to my worst enemy. I could never put someone in an oven and cook them to death. I couldn't do that. I couldn't live with myself. I would never sleep again. I'd probably be depressed. I'd probably start having suicidal thoughts and ideations. I just couldn't handle that. But for a mother to cook not one, she cooked 2 of her children in the oven. And then she took a video of it and sent it to the baby daddy. That has got to be a very, very special kind of evil. It's just insane. It is absolutely insane. Reverend Brown with the $10 super chat says, you are completely right about this, Don. I'm going through it right now with my mom and sister because of how they've taken advantage of me monetarily over the years. Dude, oh my God, dude. I swear to God, man. I swear to God, dude. And look, man, I do well. You guys know I do well for myself financially. I don't have fuck you money, but I'm pretty close. Fairly close. Right? The only time my mother and my sisters contact me is when they need something. That's why I have them both blocked. I have my brother. And listen, I love my mother and I love my sisters. Now, the sister right under me, she never hits me up for money. But my younger sister does and my mom does. It's just insane, man. New Britain Polly says, Kanye said the most dangerous place for a black baby is in his mother's stomach. I'm trying to tell you. When it comes to Noit Robas spelled backwards, the vast majority of them are performed on black women. Listen, man, I don't make the rules, okay? I simply report. I simply report them. I simply report them. Art Satillo wants to know if Reverend Brown says, I hope you can move out of the city, brother. Man, I hope you too. I hope you do too, man. Kevin Edwards says he looks like Tommy Sotomayor. Brahman says, "Where's the disagreement?" Yeah, listen, he didn't disagree. And I'm glad that he ignored it and said, you know what, I've got something to say, so it's all good. King Life says sisters project too much. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Zeke Poncho says, I have a great mother, but I understand what he's talking about. Yeah, listen, if you're, and honestly, like, good for you, Zeke. Like, if you're a black man who was raised by a decent black mother, my God, you have no idea how fortunate you are. You have no idea how fortunate you are. And something else that Jamie pointed out, and I've pointed this out many, many times. The way the Democrats and the other side rile up the black community is they spin these narratives. They spin these narratives, right? They use Black Lives Matter and, unarmed black man gets shot by white cops. You want to know why? You want to know why they know they can control the so-called black community? Because most black people are raised by black women. And they know that the black community, which is a matriarchy, will respond with emotion rather than logic. They respond with emotion rather than logic. They really do. The first thing they do when there is a racial injustice, what do? They go and they destroy their own community. They start looting and all that stuff. It's crazy. If the black community were a patriarchy like it used to be, none of that would happen. None of that would happen. The leaders of the black community would have been said, okay, guys, listen, we saw Rodney King get his ass kicked by those 4 police officers, namely Lawrence Powell. Okay? They were tried in Simi Valley. They should have been tried in LA County where it occurred. We understand. They moved it to Simi Valley because it was going to be an all-white jury. Look, this is an injustice. But what we don't need to do is we don't need to burn down the city. We don't need to burn down the city. Because what did the riots back in 1992 after the Rodney King stuff happened, what did that accomplish? Absolutely nothing. It didn't hurt white people. It damn sure didn't hurt the Los Angeles Police Department. No, it hurt the black community. The black community destroyed their own city. After the George Floyd incident happened, did they decide to No, they didn't peacefully protest. No, they went and destroyed the city of Minneapolis. And guess what, y'all? They're not destroying the white neighborhoods. They're not going into white neighborhoods and loot. No. They're robbing liquor stores. They're robbing Foot Lockers. They're robbing pawn shops. They go right into the black. A crime was committed against black people, so we're going to destroy the black community. What sense does that make? It makes no sense. It's not logical. But the reason why the so-called black community doesn't realize this is because it's a matriarchy. Matriarchies are run by women, and women respond with emotions rather than logic. You guys are a big fan of Jamie, says he's cooking. Absolutely. Yeah, Jamie cooked. Mike Ray says he's speaking facts. Absolutely. Luke Perry says we need this guy in the red pill. Mike Ray says W caller. King Life says got Sue Young's hair on their head while wearing Becky's eye color. Exactly. Lenny says that head petting shit was real. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. KG says that woman has no soul. Dude, I'm trying to tell you. Janik L'Italian says Eddie Murphy was talking about his mom hitting him with a shoe in Delirious. I didn't even realize that. It just doesn't. I don't know, man. Dude, it's incredible. It's incredible, man. Like, black women treat black men like the gum on the bottom of their shoe from the cradle to the fucking grave. Every time, man. Not every time. And here's the thing. I know a lot of my critics and detractors are going to be all in my chat talking about, well, not all black mothers are like this. Correct. No, they're not. I'm not going to make this blanket statement and all this other kind of stuff. Is it all black mothers? Of course not. Of course not. Because if it were all black mothers, there'd be a serious problem. Is it most black mothers? Maybe, maybe not. But it's enough of them. It's enough of them. A lot of black people from the so-called black community that like to point out, well, white people do it too, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they do it too. But the proportion, the percentage of white mothers who, don't get me wrong, there are white mothers who have committed unspeakable crimes against their children. Please believe. But the percentage of black women who commit crimes against their children compared to the percentage of white women who commit these crimes against their children, not even close. Not even close. It's not all. It might not even be most, but it is more than enough. It's more than enough. We talk about this with women all the time. No, all women aren't like that. All women don't branch swing. All women don't cheat. Most women don't branch swing. Most women probably don't cheat, but enough of them do to the point to where we're having this conversation. It's the same as violent black mothers. We've got actors and comedians and entertainers who are all telling their stories. Just like you said, Kanye said the most dangerous place for a black baby is in his mom's stomach. Janet just pointed out the fact that Eddie Murphy said in Delirious, yeah, my mom used to hit me with a shoe. And he did it during honestly, Delirious is probably one of the greatest stand-up comedy specials of all time. Even then, we have reference to the fuckery of black women. It's insane. Luke Perry says, times are changing. I'm seeing Pookie and Ray Ray in the Japan videos and also traveling to Thailand. Yeah, shout out to Zoom to Thailand. What's that guy's name? What is that dude's name? His name is, I think his name is like Reggie or something. Something Mac. Love that dude. And what I love about that dude, he is all positivity. He is all positivity. Dude, the black community have come after him. They called him an Uncle Tom and, a house Negro and all this other kind of stuff. He responds directly to that. He's like, hey, if that's your opinion, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. He doesn't care. He gets it. He understands. It's incredible. Luke Perry says, cooking with Crisco. I knew I wasn't wrong about American black women. I'm trying to tell you, man. Kyle 2020 says, I was just working a few hours ago in a bad part of Bakersfield. Just as I was leaving a Taco Bell, I saw two cops checking on an obviously dead man in the parking lot as I was pulling out. Jesus Christ. Dead man in a wheelchair. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you're right. That head pattern, dude, I've seen that shit since I was a kid, man. Crazy. King Life says, yep, Noit Robo was made for sisters too. They just don't look up the history on it. Exactly. It's insane, man. Farbox TV says, my black community does not know the truth, and that's why we're in despair. I'm trying to tell you, man. Luke Perry says, Eddie Murphy and Michael Jordan got fine white wives. You know it. You know it. Luke Perry says, Chris Rock, bigger and blacker, my favorite. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. Wow. It's just it's incredibly sad. Dude, I'm telling you, it's almost like every month there's a news story that comes out about a black mother who does something absolutely off the cuff with her black children. It's incredible. It's incredible. Unfortunately, black children, when they're with their mothers, they are in the most danger. It's incredible. It's incredible. All right, guys, I'm going to take, let's see, it's 1:00 now. I think I'm probably going to take about an hour and a half break or so. I'm going to take a break for about an hour. Actually, what is it? 1:00. You know what? At 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, 2:30 Pacific, I am going to do another episode. I'm going to do another episode of the Hard R Podcast. Episode 18 of the Hard R Podcast is going to be at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, which I believe is 5:30 Eastern. 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern for the Hard R Podcast, which, of course, will feature Hard R Bingo. Very, very much looking forward Very much looking forward to Hard R Bingo. Hopefully, YouTube and the powers that be don't, throttle me or whatever. Freaking crazy town, man. Stay tuned for that. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw a pop the balloon or find love. Maybe I'll do like a pop the balloon or find love reaction in there as well. Maybe we'll continue the one that we were doing. Yes, Diabolical Man. Yes. And of course, right after the Hard R podcast, right after that, we will finish episode 7 of Love is Blind. And Fartbox TV says, can we get YouTube to leave you alone on the podcast? Guys, I'm here to tell you. And I want to make this very, very clear. In order to break free of algorithm jail, it's going to take more than me. Okay? It's going to take more than me. I can create all of the great, helpful content I want to. Okay? But if you guys are not liking, subscribing, and most importantly, sharing these videos, I'm not going to be able to break out of this. Okay? Listen, I can show up every day. I can be consistent. But you guys know the algorithm is not fair. The algorithm is not fair. One thing that there is a hack for, as far as the algorithm is concerned, are new viewers. Okay? New viewers. Listen, if new people are liking, subscribing, and watching my videos, YouTube will put me up in they will push me up in the algorithm. I know some of you are sharing these videos with your buddies or your social media feeds, right? Because a lot of you are now starting to get these notifications. A lot of you guys are starting to get these notifications. But guys, I need you guys. I don't listen. I appreciate the super chats and I appreciate the cash apps. I appreciate the super chats and I appreciate the cash apps and all the rest of those. Please believe those have changed my life. But at this time, I need you guys to share the video. Dude, share these videos. Dude, share them with your friends. Copy the link, text it to somebody. Dude, put them on your social media feeds. The only way this channel is going to grow is if you guys are suggesting them to people that are unaware of my channel. That's the only way. Fartbox TV says, I have ideas and suggestions. Yeah, Fartbox, if you would join my Discord. Join my Discord and send me a private message. Let's see. Charlie Spire says, no more cheating show breakup. You mean like the loyalty tests? Yeah. I did a loyalty test the other day. Appreciate that. Yep, Thailand is Tailland. Oh boy. Jesus. I guess it is. Yeah, you guys know how that goes. Yeah. Help your boy out. Like the video on the way out. Copy the link to the video. Send it to 3 random people. Just send it to 3 random people. Just pick 3 people in your contacts list. Click, click, click. You don't have to preface it with anything. You don't say, oh, check out my boy. No, just send him the video. Thank you guys very, very much for your continued support. And I will see you guys at the bottom of next hour. In 1 hour and 15 minutes, we will be doing episode 18 of the Hard R podcast. We'll see you then. Take care.